Now that season 1 of Noblesse has come to an end, I can finally talk about something that really struck me as I was watching the show, and that is Noblesse doesn't really have a main character. What is up, y'all? It's your man, That Dude, bringing you guys another video. I'm giving out subscriptions down below, so if you like Noblesse, I review every episode, and I'll talk about other anime too, so go hit that button. It was around episode maybe 4 or 5 of Noblesse where it really hit me that the show doesn't have a main character. Now, yes, Rizal is the titular character. He is the Noblesse. The show is called Noblesse. So yes, he is technically the main character. But when you're talking about like screen time or just like lines in the show, like dialogue, Rizal is by no means like the most prominent character or the character that's in the forefront of the most episodes. Pre-Lucadonia, he's really in the background for every single storyline. So it was hard to make the argument that he is the main character in the sense of that their story revolves around him, because it really doesn't. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I love that the show was able to build a pretty compelling story with a character that's supposed to be the main character being boring as hell, right? Because Rizal is pretty boring. The dude doesn't really talk. He doesn't really do anything. He just shows up at the last second, fights and defeats whatever big bad guy is there in that episode. But besides that, doesn't really do much. And the show really shines around all the characters that surround Rizal. So you have Frankenstein, you have M21, Takeo, Tao, Regis, you know, the kids from the school, Sarah. The show is showing. I can't even say Sarah, because Sarah doesn't really talk either. She's more like Rizal. But all those other characters is where the show shines when it revolves around them. Except Pre-Lucadonia, they are the headline of Pre-Lucadonia. They are the center of the show. They are the headlines of all the episodes. I had a video where I say that the true hero of Noblesse is M21, because up until that point, I mean, really, I think over the course of the whole show, I think M21 was the best character. But up until that point, he was undoubtedly the best character. He was the character that had probably the most screen time and had the most development and had the most storylines revolving around him up until that point. When it comes to screen time, Frankenstein definitely has more screen time than Rizal. I would say M21 has more screen time than Rizal. I would say Regis probably has more screen time than Rizal. You can make an argument for maybe Takeo and Tao maybe not having more screen time, but you hear them. They talk more. They have more lines in the show. They do more in the show than Rizal does. So all those things come together to have a show that just doesn't have a main character in the traditional sense. Just look at the episode where Rizal comes in at the last second and saves Regis and M21 from being killed by Krons, right? That whole episode, it is mostly Regis and M21 fighting and them having where they were really trying to figure out their relationship. That was, the point at when Regis was kind of hurt that he thought M21 had betrayed them. So the story, the whole episode revolved around them. They were the center of the story in that episode. It just so happens that they could not defeat Krons, and so Rizal comes in at the last second, defeat Krons, and he saves the day. But the story of the episode did not in any way revolve around Rizal. It revolved around mostly Regis and M21 and Sarah to an extent trying to go save Regis. Right? Those guys were the center of that episode. They were the center of all the storylines in that episode. That's not even bringing in Frankenstein fighting Takeo and Aru and all that. Rizal is he's never the center of any of these storylines, like I said, until Lucadonia. Rizal doesn't even get the best fights in Noblesse. I would say that Frankenstein, for the most part, gets the best action scenes. So you have a character who is, again, the titular character, right? Rizal is the Noblesse. Again, the show is called Noblesse. He should be our main character. He should be the character that we follow the most, but he isn't. So for those of you who read the comics, is it the same in the comics as it is in the anime, where despite supposedly being the main character, that Rizal is actually more of a background character and all the side characters are the ones that carry the story? I'm assuming it has to be the same way in the comic. It wouldn't make sense for any kind of animation studio to take a manga or a comic and then take a character who is in the forefront and then move it to the background and then to promote side characters. That would make sense from a storytelling standpoint. So I'm assuming it's the same way, but hey, apparently there's a lot of things that they changed in the anime that are different in the comic. So let me know. Alright guys, all I have for you on this one. If you like this video, go hit that thumbs up. And if you are so inclined, subscribe and share. It would help me out a lot. If you didn't like the video, hit me up in the comments. We can talk about it. I respond to almost everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one.